It's Niemann. How has the tournament been so far for you?
Not good.
Today, there was a very quick draw. What was going through your mind?
I was surprised by the lack of ambition in his opening choice. But obviously I understand the tournament is going well, so he doesn't want to, continue. But it's funny. I saw the variation Bishop C3 Rook E8. I saw everything, but I don't think I believed that I could have received such a ridiculous gift. So it's very rare that you are just winning at the opening with black against the world champion. So perhaps I should have been more optimistic. But just a very weird game.
Any particular match that tested your skill sets in particular?
Every game tests a wide range of your skills, but the game that I lost against Arjun was incredibly complex, so it maybe exposed his strengths and my weaknesses. But I had many winning chances. I was completely winning against Nihal. I had a dominant, almost winning advantage against Abdustarf. So the start didn't go my way, and then Arjun won. A really nice game. I just didn't. Bishop D5 was a tactic I completely overlooked, and then I just didn't get any chances after that. It's such a strong field. It's hard to win games.
Answer slightly strange question. We've seen with Gukesh and with Ding what becoming the world champion kind of does to you in terms of form, in terms of confidence, the pressure. You're somebody who's always said that you want to be a world champion after Bobby Fischer, the next American world champion after Bobby Fischer. I was wondering, from a player's perspective, does it still feel worth it? Because we've seen the two predecessors and the suffering that they've had.
No, everyone would love to be world champion. Saying that is it worth it? It's not really a reasonable question. But most people never even come close, right? But I think the main issue, the main reason why that you've seen Ding and Gukesh do poorly is that, first of all, they were never the best players in the world. Not even close to it. Gukesh had a string of results over, maybe from the Olympiad, the candidates where he performed maybe at the best or near the best. But Ding even was long before he was fighting world championship, he was actually, top 3 players, or even the second best player for a long.
2019.
So he had an actual far more established or consistent career as a top player. But the issue with the world championship cycle is that it's a very random. You don't want to say random because it can be easily misconstrued, but the candidates, the entire system is not as equitable, and you're deciding things over such a small sample size that it's natural that they're going to be the players who just aren't the best who are going to prevail, because you have such a small, low volume. The candidate is only 14 games, and it's you have to be first of 8. So each player, since it's the nature of the actual format, is not, no matter how good you are. First of all, the margin in classical chess to be so much better just isn't there at the highest level. You simply cannot be miles better than your opponent because of how much role preparation plays. So if you have a format where the margin, where the difference between top players is so small, and then the volume is so small, you're going to have, in most cases, you're not going to have, it's random event, knockout format. So Ding, made it to the candidates. Made it to the match by not even winning the games, but being second. So at least now the system is starting to change. But for someone like Gukesh and Ding to do badly, people have upswings and downswings and all nature of sports, but they were never really the best players in the world, so it's not like a major shock.
So
Do you think Sindaro is the deserving challenger in this case?
There's no reason to speculate who is deserving or not. Every single top player who played in the Candidates tournament, everyone is deserving, because if he won the Candidates tournament, why is he not deserving? But I think that first of all, the World Championship cycle should not be over 2 years. It's far too long. But the entire, at least this, the recent changes where you have the Total Chess Tour, which gives 2 spots, and then you have 2 spots from the FIDE circuit. You're starting to give spots on a far more equitable, let's say, grand sample size. Because if it's for example, in the previous candidate, you had Niemann who won the World Cup and qualified to the 2024 candidates.
Yeah.
But someone like that would never ever qualify from the FIDE circuit, because from the FIDE circuit you have to have a sustained level, So someone like Abasov or maybe even Lubon, in a FIDE circuit or a Total Chess Tour or in a Grand Prix system, one outlier result, right? So the issue with the previous events is that you have the Grand Swiss, which it's a Swiss event, and being top 2 in a Swiss event. For example, I was fighting for the top place in the final round, and one of the reasons why I needed to win with black was because my tiebreak point score, 3 of us were tied at 26.66, but I was 26.6.4, and if I was 0.5, then I would have a higher tiebreak than 2 people, and maybe I could draw. So it's all these things are just random. Of course, you have control, but the issue with classical chess is that openings have completely dominated the game, to where it's just there's just not enough margin as there is in most sports.
Now, on a personal level, do you think you see this tournament as a preparation for the Olympiad, or what was this tournament? What does this tournament mean?
The Olympiad is 2 months away. It's great to play classical chess. There are not that many opportunities to play if you're not in the Grand Chess Tour. It's no specific preparation. It's just an individual tournament, but the main importance of these tournaments is to score FIDE circuit points, to qualify for the Gambit. That's the overriding theme.
Do you think the total World Championship is democratic enough?
I think it's the most democratic format of all the events, and I think it's the best format. Like if you could, if FIDE removed all World Championships and then just made like the Total Chess World Championship format, but then instead of 3 events a year, they made 10, 12 events a year, I think that would be the fairest format. But I don't know. I personally, I don't enjoy classical chess. I enjoy chess. I like winning. I like the result. But everything surrounding classical chess is just not enjoyable, because the tournaments are incredibly long. You play only 1 game a day. Sometimes games end in quick draws, or sometimes you're playing with black, and it just doesn't it doesn't even compare to Rapid and Blitz. Like there's no there's still passion, there's still enjoyment. Maybe I would say, even when I would win tournaments or do well, I still would have the same feeling with classical chess, that it's just not I don't feel the same passion.
What do you think about this tournament format? Because here there is no increment about after 40 moves. So was this time format suitable for you?
It's definitely an improvement, but in my past matches, we had a 60+30 format, 2 games a day. It's definitely better than having, the Vikings time control is insane, or the Grand Swiss time control is ridiculous. So it's an improvement, but I think that we need to have a decisive winner in every game. You know, whether it's with an Armageddon or whether it's to prevent, to incentivize people to have any sort of ambition or to create, play interesting games. You need to have some deciders. So whether that's 2 games a day, and you play an Armageddon, or you play Blitz tiebreaker, or whether it's 1 game at Armageddon, I think in chess we need a result in every game, because if you don't have that, a lot of people, there's no incentive.
Hans, congratulations on being inducted in the Olympiad team, your first Olympiad. What are your thoughts and what will be your preparation as representing your country in the Olympiad?
Yeah, it's considering that I've had quite a high rating for a few years. Most countries, probably maybe even only India, that I wouldn't be in the Olympiad team. So it's great to finally be in the team as an American-born and raised player, which is rare for us. I hope to bring some patriotism to the team, maybe inspire my comrades to be even more patriotic.
Is there any particular team you are looking forward to face?
I would say probably India on paper is the biggest rivals, although Indian players have sort of struggled a bit recently. Uzbekistan, I don't, obviously they're very strong, but probably on home turf they'll feel even more emboldened by the riches that await them if they win, by winning at home. So there's certainly, I don't know if the American team would receive an apartment and car. It's a bit more expensive in America, because they receive a car, an apartment, cash.
The Prime Minister coming to the tarmac to receive them.
Yeah, that might happen.
Oh.
You never know. We have to, as we say, make American chess great again.
Hans, going back to your point about chess shouldn't have draws. It changes the very nature of the sport. Right? Classical chess, by its very nature, has more draws than decisive results. Do you think that there will be wider acceptance for the fact that we need to change the nature of the sport so that we have more results?
Yeah, if you look at most individual sports, I would say that the best game to compare chess to is tennis. I think there's no greater comparison. Both are individual sports. Both are not just. Tennis is a very intellectual sport, right? It's not just about. Some other sports are more, brute physical force. Tennis is strategic, and individual sports, you can see that they have a universal format, right? There's no. It's very rare for. There's something called the UTS Tour in tennis, which is a different format, but in all ATP Grand Slam events, there's a knockout format. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 sets, depending on the length. But in chess, we really need to adopt a singular format, at least for top level chess, for fairness, but also to make it a marketable product. But I also think that it was so much more interesting, to have just some decider, and a lot of people are clinging on to this idea of classical chess, but if chess remains sort of so clung to this concept of the purity of classical chess, then the game is just going to be left behind, as other sports and as the world develops. I just don't see a long-term future for classical chess.
This classical thing.
Are you a fan of knockouts in general?
For individual sports, I think it's the best format. I think it's the fairest. For the candidates especially, when there was collusion among the Russian players, and Fischer complained, that even at the interzonals, the Russians could draw or lose, you can help a player win. You know what I mean? In a knockout format, everything is in the player's control, right? And in the candidates, you know, you could win your last game against the person who's in last place and win the tournament because of that, right? It just doesn't feel. I mean, I think there's a reason why tennis has the system that it has.
Your thoughts about classical chess are somewhat matching with Carlsen's thoughts. Are you a bit surprised?
I would say that any player who is honest and realistic about how they enjoy chess, I mean, would have that viewpoint. I mean, obviously, if you are invited to the Red Chess Tour, Norway Chess, and these top events, you don't really. You can play like someone like Hikaru plays very few events a year just because he has a high rating that he can sit on, you know. But I would say that most players maybe share the same viewpoint, but maybe some aren't as active in expressing it.
And so what are your thoughts on the new World Cup format?
Yeah, I think it's at least an improvement because I mean having a month-long tournament, I think it's just so ridiculous. I mean, when I was in Goa, I mean, I got so sick. I lost 5 kilos in 4 days, so I was super happy to be knocked out, you know, because I didn't have to stay there. I mean, if I had stayed for like 2 weeks and then got knocked out, I don't know if I would have survived. You know, so I was so sick. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely an improvement. I think that if I were to give my ideal format, I would say that each match could be finished in 1 day. I think that it should be 2 games of 45 plus 30, and you play the tiebreak. I mean, I also think that this notion of like, oh, you know, as chess players, like we can only play 1 game a day. I think we should be pushing, you know, our physical and mental limits, you know, by actually having games being decided by how much energy and mental fortitude you have. You know, not like that you spend 5 hours preparing and then, you know, the first 25 moves are you haven't used your thought ones. And, I mean, it's a rehearsal. I mean, even obviously, ideally, freestyle chess is, in my opinion, the best chess format. I mean, it's like I think it's just a better game. But you know, that's a long way to win.
Answer. Just wanted to understand. You said that you fell sick during the FIDE World Cup in Goa. Just tell us a little bit about what happened.
Just allergies, I sneezing. I don't know.
It was nothing to do with the length of the tournament.
No, I was only there for 5
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And in those
No.
5 days, I managed. I mean,
But it wasn't some food poisoning or something, right?
I mean, I was just sneezing blood, you know. So I don't know.
Right. The players of your generation, even your generation, probably raised on, studying classic games. We were speaking to coaches. Now, is it not required to study classic games considering there is stockfish?
It's a personal preference. I mean,
Would you advise kids, for example, if you take up coaching, would you
I
advise
think kids should work on and spend time in chess without whatever they enjoy and they're passionate about. You know, I mean, you should try to do things that you really. Okay, obviously at the highest level, you have to do things you don't enjoy. That's part of competing at the highest level. But when you're a kid and you're young and you're improving, you should do what you enjoy. I mean, if you push young kids too hard, I mean, they can burn out very easily.
Sorry to deviate slightly here. The World Championship, Mukesh, in this current form, do you still see him as defending the title, or do you think Sundarao has an advantage?
Well, in a match format, it's really hard to say. I think it really depends on the start, but the strain on Gukesh's confidence that his years must be taking a serious toll. So I would say that if he starts well and can regain regain his confidence and take control, you know, his prime form could return. But if he starts poorly, I mean, it's just going to be a reminder of all the bad results, you know. So I don't think. I mean, obviously, you can't say that his poor results are not an indicator whatsoever. Are they? I mean, but in one match, I think it's 14 games. I mean, anything can happen.
Carlson,
Sticking to Gukesh, were you tempted to beat him and send him below 2700 today?
No, I really don't care. My job is to win chess games on time. It doesn't matter who I'm playing. I'm indifferent.
Hans, are you happy with the new criteria for candidates? The rating spots have been removed.
No, that I mean is a great improvement. I think the rating spot was like taken advantage of by Ding, Ali Reza, and then Hikaru twice.
Yeah.
Or once or twice?
Once.
Once. So all three of them had interesting loopholes. You know. So Ding had his matches in China against his comrades. Ferrugia had his matches against, you know, the like what do you call the YMCA grandmasters, you know. And then you know, Hikaru, I mean, showed his degree of shame, you know. So I mean, that is a great improvement. And I think that FIDE is going in the right direction.
Hans, you have been if I can take the liberty to say that you have been the lowest of your career, where you were not being able to play any top tournaments, you were not getting invites, but you went on to play all the open tournaments, any tournaments you could find. You played maybe 100 or 150 odd classical games in a year, and you came back into World Top 50, then 40, then 30. Now you're playing elite events. Now, if I can say, Gukesh is also going through a phase where he is having bad results, different situations. What would you advise Gukesh if you had the professional capacity, if there would have been a chance to bounce back, because you have done that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, in chess it's really difficult because when things go badly, you're the only, you know, people can try to tell you why they went badly, but no one is inside your mind, you know. So the best coach, I mean, unless you have such a magical connection with them where they can read your mind, or maybe they know you so well, even the best coach can't understand, you know. So that's why the improvement and when things go badly, it's very isolating, you know, because you feel like you understand why things went wrong, you know, you can communicate, but finding, you know, in chess it's not like, you know, I mean, in some sports you can pinpoint, okay, like, you know, my form was wrong, you know, my positioning was wrong, like, oh, this, I mean, in chess it's all in your mind, you know. So it's such an abstract sport. Pinpointing the exact reason is really difficult. I mean, some sportsmen might look to their diet or you know, I don't know, but I would say that it's mostly a mindset thing. I mean, he has all the opportunities in the world. For example, he dropped out of the Grand Chess Tour, which I wouldn't have done. I mean, I don't think that was a good decision. You know, he's obviously.
Can you explain why? Why that?
I mean, I don't think like as a world champion you should drop out of the Premier Chess Tour. I think you have. Okay, you know, you can evaluate whether you feel a responsibility to compete in the top tournaments as world champion. That's a personal thing, but just from a practice perspective, you want to play. You're going to play a world championship match. The best practice you can get is against the top players in the world. So that I wouldn't have done it. I don't know. I mean, maybe just try to relax. I don't know. I mean, but I'm sure his team's getting plenty of advice.
Hans, what has been the reaction that you've experienced after coming to India, especially Chennai?
What do you mean reaction?
You've seen a lot of fans coming to you for photos, autographs.
Well, I haven't left the hotel once, so. But yeah, there are plenty of fans, which is always nice in India. I mean, when I played in Kolkata, there were so many fans. I mean, I don't. Maybe they were here. I just didn't see them because we're staying in the hotel, so you can kind of avoid them. But no, generally India is the passion for chess is great. The support for chess, I mean, it's like when every time they win a tournament, the government gives them like basically the money they won. I mean,
Yeah, but no apartments.
yeah, but for that price you can buy an apartment. But,
In some parts of India.
yeah, I mean, depends on the yeah.
What are the out of court settlement that you had with Carlson? Do you think you are a moral victim?
No comment.
Going back to the statements you made about mental health in chess, and you see, are people taking it? Are the athletes taking it seriously, or do you think there should be a system to sort of take mental health more seriously?
No, I mean we get to travel the world. I mean, playing chess, it's not that part of a life, you know. But obviously, everyone should handle the stress in their own way. But it's part of the job.
And recently you have been doing very well in Rapid and Blitz format, and next you are playing at Esports World Cup. So what are your expectations from Esports World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I narrowly missed qualifying last year, so I'm really looking forward to it. I have 2.5 weeks to prepare, so it's a huge event. I mean, although it's not rated or anything, I mean, there are huge prizes. A lot of the top players, fortunately, they conflicted with the Grand Chess Tour, but that I'm really looking forward to. And I mean, it's rare that you play chess in a stadium or in front of all so many fans. Like, I mean, the freestyle events were really a dream come true. So unfortunately, those are gone, but at least the World Championship will remain. So I mean, those types of events are really very enjoyable.
And you won this Rapid and Blitz in Poland. So this Esports World Cup, are you more motivated now through mindset?
Yeah, I think my results in Rapid Blitz have always been good. I mean, I was 4th in the World Rapid Championship, narrowly missing 3rd on tie breaks. Yeah, winning. I mean, I won Warsaw. I mean, I think I could have won it by a bigger margin, but I generally think that my results in Rapid Blitz are very good. So yeah, I think I'll do quite well there.
And can you explain the differences between playing Rapid and Blitz over the board and on 2D board?
Well, you know, even when you play online, it's actually possible to add a 3D setting where the pieces look, which I do sometimes. You know, to emulate training, but yeah, when you have a mouse, you manage your time differently because you have a bit more margin getting the time pressure. Sometimes when you play over the board, you think that you can handle the time pressure, then you realize that over the board, I mean, it's so much easier to collapse. So, I mean, but generally, it's not that different. Obviously, Esports World Cup has no increment, so it requires far more visual and time management and maybe some flagging skills.
And just wanted to understand, you are the only player I think we are seeing at this tournament bringing your own water bottles. Is there some idea behind that? Or?
I just prefer to drink international water.
Any particular goal this year you want to achieve?
Top 10, win a Rapid Blitz World Championship. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of big tournaments this year.
And at the World Cup, Esports World Cup, if say you beat the top dogs, do you have like a finisher move like what we saw last year, Hikaru throwing the king, those sort of things? Or
No, I mean that was theatrical, and that event where he threw the king was not like a serious event. I mean it was an exhibition. So I did actually recently go to a WWE fight, and Netflix gave me courtside or ringside tickets, and I mean it was interesting, but that interest lasted for maybe 30 minutes or more hours.
And it would be illegal to try one of those moves after finishing a game in a chess game.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, if WWE, yeah, certainly. But for Ring of King, I mean, yeah, you totally would be fine.
Hans, congratulations on the Netflix documentary. Could you please tell us that what was the reaction from the people around you, who were your friends and family, who did not know the entire situation after they saw the documentary? From you, even your friends, if you can say, what were their reaction?
The documentary, you know, very positive reaction. It was quite short. I mean, it could have been so much longer. There were so many things that could have been included that would have been even worse for them. Even then, you know, they were very displeased because it was, you know, not great for them. But you know, I think that my main goals are on the chessboard, fighting a media war against the mafia is, you know, it's just not of interest to me. It's better to beat them on the chessboard.
But was it exciting to see yourself on the big TV?
Yeah,
Not playing chess.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, but I mean, it was just such a. It's not really something to be happy about. You know, it's more like a step in the right direction, but it's only a step. I mean, the real, you know, the real comeback, you know, has to be on the chessboard.
Hans, talking about Endgame AI, how are you seeing the future of it?
Well, the platform has been growing a lot. We have a lot of users, actually a lot of users from India, probably because of Vidit or the other people who promoted it. Yeah, I think it'll grow as a chess platform. Hopefully we organize more events. You know, I think that it's important to have fair competition in the market and to, you know, keep corrupt powers accountable.
Thank you, Hans.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hans.
Could you please sign the book? This one also. Thank you so much.